for those who can't see this very properly, our printers are, let's say I had issues. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. I saw this quote once on a storefront, and I stood there and stared at it for a little while. I don't know if its purpose was to joke or entertain, but definitely for me, it really inspired me. I stood there and thought, and my mind went years back when I was a child, and I read, or rather probably was read, Dr. Seuss's All the Places You'll Go. And specifically, I'll quote, "You can get so confused that you'll start to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless space, the waiting place." What are we waiting for, and what's really worth? First, I encourage you to stop for a minute and contemplate this. How long do you actually wait for things in your lifespan? So, I once heard this funny quote, "How long a minute is depends on the side of the washroom you're standing at." So, that's just a joke, right? But personally, I found that when waiting 2 seconds for a bus in the middle of January on my own feels like hours. When waiting for the same bus, the same 2 minutes during July and while happily chatting with a friend of mine, it's like, whew, 2 seconds. I also found that, for instance, when waiting for that text response after a first date for like 2 minutes can feel centuries, and having a conversation with a friend over text messages and just waiting for a response 2 minutes, it was like, I don't know, probably 2 minutes. So you see, waiting time is very strongly correlated with something else, the notion of anticipation. Anticipation can really engage your mind, engage your thoughts, really start grinding in your head there and just munching off your energy and getting you worried and anxious, and obviously it can change your perception too. I just proved it. Then minutes turn to hours, and months turn to years, and years turn to eternity, and you're waiting. It sounds a little exhausting, isn't it? At this point, there's another question. How many times have you anxiously waited for something? A bus or a train to take you to work or home, someone to pick up at the other end of the line, a first date to call you back, or somebody that you're fond of to call you back to let you know that they've reached their destination safely. So many waits. So here I must make this one distinction. There are 2 groups of waits in one's life, I think. The one type is the everyday waits, the regular waits, and the other is deeper waits, life-changing waits. So the first type of waits are solely based on the fact that what's expected, like the everyday waits, like for instance, the next subway will pass on in the next 5 minutes because it's on schedule. And the other type is the ones that can actually change your life. Will I get that job? Even though the everyday life-changing, the everyday can be potentially life-changing, like if you miss a subway for like 2 seconds, it might mean something minor as you'll be late meeting a friend, or it might mean something major like missing a flight. But it's mostly the second type of waits that I want to focus on. So I want to draw your attention upon these because those things are based mostly on hope. Hope makes all the difference in the world. If we didn't hope, the world wouldn't be the same. It's just a driving force of the entire universe. It's in our nature, I think. When you don't know what's next, there's only one thing you can do. Hope. Hope that things will just come your way. However, I might not be too old or wise just yet, but by experience have shown that life is not always easy and things don't always just fall on your lap. For the 365 days of the year, you just have to wake up in the morning and go out there and make a life of your own. And some days will feel like struggling with your reality, and some others will will not, because some days are just easy. Every day you have to wake up and fight to earn things you hope for. My advice to you is never to hope for one thing to occur, but rather hope that the battle you can put to achieve it is going to be successful. Don't think of it as a tedious and tiring procedure, though. It's like, think of it as the salt and pepper in your life that will make things just all more exhilarating. Here you might think, what if I fail? What if my battle just is unsuccessful? And it will sometimes, because you can't always win. Rolling Stone said it right. You can't always get what you want. It's true, but the next lyric of that same song is, well, if you try sometimes, you might get more what you need. So that's the case, where your battles will be fruitful. For the ones that will not, though, if there's one advice to give, it would be this. I took a deep breath and let it go. So every time just sit back and think of that one thing. Did I do my best? Did I do everything in my power to achieve my goal, to achieve what I was hoping for? If your answer is yes, then even if you didn't succeed, you can rest assured that you did everything in your power. You can admit defeat and just let go. And again, rest assured that for that one door that was just closed, another window will pop up. Finally, what I'd like you to keep today is to go out and seize the day. Hope always. They say hope dies last. No, you die last. As long as you're breathing, you can find hope in the darkest of days. You can find it back. But don't be lazy and don't sit around and wait. Make your bed and sleep in it. Make your battles and construct your strategies to win them. Learn to let go whenever you lose. It doesn't make you a failure. It only makes you human, and always remember